Welcome everybody to UTB Blogcast number 65. I'm Roy and we are Dave and Brett. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys. Are you making your best Erica impression there?
Yeah, I'm Erica for today. And
I think we're supposed to retire at 65, aren't we?
do we have pension?
No,
No. So,
not in this here neighborhood.
what we had this week?
Where do you want to start? Do we want to just start with John Chen on Bloomberg? As that's probably the most interesting thing for us.
Yeah, I think we will start with the most surprising things of this week. Verizon.
Okay. Never mind then. Okay, Verizon pushed out Marshmallow, something that I don't think any of us thought was going to happen.
Well, I think it was going to, well, what do I know? I don't live there. So I kind of figured it would happen, and it just took too freaking long. It's completely ridiculous, actually. And people who don't push out updates for current technology should be shot.
Verizon's left a lot of phones in the lurch in the past, and BlackBerry has never been. Well, no, I'm not going to say has never been. BlackBerry has not been a priority for them recently. So I really thought that it was just going to sit on Lollipop for its entire life. The Verizon Priv. So I'm very happy to see it there. I can't imagine those poor Verizon folks being stuck on Lollipop that long.
No, and that's what makes me so mad. You sell something, you make profit on it, you're supposed to support it. And I don't know qualities of it, but here, if you sell a product, in our industry or whatever, you're supposed to support it for 7 years. Now, of course, those things don't really happen in mobile. But the thing I'm getting at is when the product is current, which it is, Verizon sold it, and it's completely and utterly ridiculous that they don't offer the support and updates that everybody else is, yep. Whether they're slow or fast, they're all faster than that. It should be illegal not to keep something that you sold secure. And Marshmallow is, God, I hate saying that, 6.0.1 is an upgrade in security along with the patches. So I think it's an utter fail that companies, think that they don't have to do that. I think it should be illegal. If it's a current device, it should be kept up with security patches and OS updates. I get it. Something 3 or 4 years old, I get it. People don't do that. These things recycle, sometimes faster than a year, whatever. But again, it's a current device. To me, there's no excuse.
So, do we know why now?
No, I have no idea why now. It seemed really odd because it just seemed to happen, and it's like, we've heard rumors come and go that it was going to happen, and it never happened, and that's why I just thought it was done for, and then all of a sudden it popped out.
Do you think that Verizon will keep updating now regularly the Priv?
Well, they're not even up to date with everybody else right now, right? The version is,
or it's a one-timer.
Could be. I mean, I'm wondering if they didn't do this because of, the quad router. Was the quad router patched on the Verizon devices? Was it patched on BlackBerry Lollipop Priv? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I think we were on Marshmallow when that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were on Marshmallow. But I'm just wondering if they didn't.
So I don't know.
Because I mean, I don't know. I doubt that Verizon got anything.
Me too.
You know, they're not getting security updates.
Yeah. Either somebody got to them and said, "Look, you better do this," you know, or there's some kind of hell to pay, or they got enough.
They have a very, very, very bad QA.
It's a non-existent QA.
Or there was
how
enough.
How long can we hold on to it, and how many iPhones can we sell before we start updating the other guys?
Yeah, their customers could have been putting the pressure on.
Which they were. There were a lot of FCC complaints. We know a few people that were doing it themselves and heard stories of others. So we know that there were FCC complaints. We know that the FCC is looking into it, not just for BlackBerry, but for other phones as well. But, yeah. The Verizon truly has a captive audience. You know, like, I'm on AT&T. If I get fed up with AT&T, I can grab my phone. I can head over to T-Mobile. I can get my phone unlocked, you know, pay however much, get my phone unlocked, and jump onto them. You know, it's like we can all bounce around because everybody else is GSM. Verizon, you're just stuck to them. And, you know, I mean, some of those phones, I'm not sure about the Priv. I know the Z30, you know, I'm sure the Priv does, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It's got the radios. It's a world phone, so it can go onto a GSM network. But you're not going to get, like on the Z30, they didn't get the LTE on AT&T. No telling what you're missing out on when you jump like that. It's just, Verizon just doesn't care about their customers.
Well, that's another thing. That should also be illegal. If I show up with a handset of my choice that has the radios to hook up to your towers and your radios, then I should be paying my whatever it is, 40, 50, whatever, $70 a month, and get all of the toys that you'd get if you bought a handset from them. It's completely ridiculous. I'm giving you the same amount of money, and I deserve the same number of features. Period. That's another thing that should be completely illegal.
Well, that goes into something good that I'm glad Alpha showed up right at the right time, because that's what he was telling us. I think it was last week, where if you were to get one of these world phones with the CDMA radios, it still wouldn't work on Verizon, right?
Exactly. If you were to get, if let's say BlackBerry made a universally unlocked phone that carried the CDMA radios, on Verizon it wouldn't work because Verizon wouldn't provision it. They wouldn't get voice over LTE. Verizon wouldn't supply updates. Verizon wouldn't supply anything to the handset. So for BlackBerry to make a universally unlocked phone, it just wouldn't make any sense for them, because for people who are on CDMA networks, they won't be able to take advantage of it. Hence, they just do GSM phones. You get a SIM card, you pop it in, and you're good to go.
Cool. We have a question on the channel, from the channel. Has anyone else noticed that there is no longer BBM category on blogs blackberry.com? When do you think BBM will rebranded, since it seems more and more that BlackBerry has less and less to do with BBM?
I never noticed that. I actually
I don't know. I think there's governance. Because you can't. I don't think you can let a gem like that out and not have some governance over it. I wish I had the answer to that question. I mean, if you look at their channel, there's an awful lot of talk about stuff that I have no access to and don't care about, or maybe I'd care about if I had access to it. So, you know, that channel's meant less to me over the last little while, but I don't know. I'm just not sure. That's new knowledge to me. So maybe I should shut up.
Yeah, I honestly never noticed that it was a category on BlackBerry.com, to be honest. But I mean, honestly, the whole BBM, the way it's headed right now is something that I'm not happy about, but I completely understand the reason for it. And the reason I'm not happy about it is because BBM is my #1 app. There's no other app that gets used as much on my phones as BBM. And I mean, you guys know I talk to you guys every chance I get, and everything I do is on BBM. I go to BBM channels before I'll go to Twitter. You know, I will rip my fingernails out before I touch Facebook, but BBM channels is where it's at for me. So like, I love BBM. I love every part of BBM, but I am in the vast minority. And like, I've got all of my close friends and all of my family and the people that speak to me or want to speak to me are all on BBM. But then you get those other people that you're trying to push into it, you know, the ones that you don't necessarily text or talk with, but, you know, like coworkers, and you just I can't get them to do it. You know, I mean, the only reason I was able to get those other people on it was because that's the only way I would talk to them. And apparently a few of them still wanted to talk to me. So, you know, it's like they are not making real headway in, what should I call us, the Western world. I don't know how they're doing for you over there in Israel. We know that it is huge in Indonesia, and they've put it in the hands of somebody that can grow it in that market. So, I mean, I completely understand why they did it, and I don't think that they're going to give it away. You know, there's just too much potential there. They're going to keep it under their umbrella. And I'm sure if we start seeing growth in like our markets, we could see them either push forward themselves with BBM or find another partner in these other markets where it's growing. I mean, there's just so much potential there. And I really think that what they've done is find a method for it to grow where it can grow instead of having it stagnate, because there's really no financial gain in it for them to work on it right now.
I agree with Brad. I think that BlackBerry 100% took BBM and they gave it to somebody who's going to be able to grow it into something more. BlackBerry is going to be focused more on the enterprise side of BBM, and so the stuff that they'll be doing for BBM, we may not readily see unless we deliberately go and search for that on the web, or unless we are heavily into the enterprise side of things. But as for average consumers, BlackBerry gave it to somebody who's going to grow it, and it's huge in Indonesia. I think it was 100% a business decision, and not as a slight to anybody. And Chen made a business decision, and they stuck by it. And I agree with them. You're gonna take what you have and you're gonna put it where you know it will grow. You're not gonna leave it somewhere where, as Brad said, it's gonna stagnate, because that would not make good business sense, and then you shouldn't be running the business. You put it somewhere
Yeah,
where it's
I
gonna
think.
grow. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
you know, you're right there, and I think that the optics, some people see it as, oh, they sort of gave it away, and now it's all just for Indonesia, and you know, now we get some wacky stickers, and that's about it. But it's a licensing thing, and there's no reason to think that they're not going to be able to license it to someone else in other regions, you know, North America or Europe, or they'll take what these people in Indonesia, MTech, is it?
Yeah.
And see how that goes. You know, how are they doing with their video offerings? How are they doing with, you know, monetizing certain aspects, you know, things that haven't been in there before. And then maybe they'll start doing the same thing, or cherry pick the stuff that works and start doing it in other areas.
Roy?
What?
I think we're all waiting on you, buddy. You seem to have taken over Erica's spot tonight, which Erica is sick, everybody. She's still alive. You know, she didn't go flying off anywhere.
Okay,
She's just
so
sick of Roy.
I will add my 2 cents about BBM. I think BlackBerry will not rebrand it or rename it, or it will remain the same as we know it. I hope that as more that they will sell DTEX or Brave or any another BlackBerry branded device, more people will use it because it's come pre-installed. So why not using something that you will get for free? And what happened with WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger around the world, all this encryption and privacy issues over the UK. In the end, people will use BBM because they will not be allowed to use WhatsApp, and they will be too afraid to use Facebook Messenger. So,
well, they got all hung up in Germany, was it?
Germany and the UK.
Yeah. And I think, if I remember correctly, that the concern was that, what was it, the storage of the information in a foreign country, was that the issue?
I honestly don't know. I thought it came down to the sharing the information between Facebook and WhatsApp.
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah. No, I'm mixing it up with LinkedIn in Russia. Sorry.
Oh yeah, there you go. I was confused. Yeah. I was like, what did I miss? I know it's been a busy week, but
yeah, that's a different story.
Yeah. So
in any case, it just occurs to me that people's awareness is very, very slowly but surely on the rise regarding security and privacy. Again, two different things. And I think that could do nothing but bode well for applications such as BBM and BlackBerry in general.
Speaking of which, that's kind of something that John Chin said in an interview with Bloomberg. And it's like, I don't want to get into that portion of it because you guys have told me to shut up about it. But so I'm sorry, Roy, did I just cut you?
Yeah, you took my part.
I'm sorry. I was bored.
Yeah. So Chen interviewed with Emily Cheng, I think this is her name, about the elections, the impact on the industry, the tech industry. We saw Tim Cook already send a message to his workers, to the employees. Did you see it?
Yeah.
And she talked with Chen about what will happen, and it's going to be very interesting for the tech industry in the US.
I honestly think that, without getting into the politics of it, I think BlackBerry just got a bit of a reprieve, because I think that the companies that have been given the massive amount of leeway really since their introduction, you know, Apple and Facebook, I think they're going to come under a lot of scrutiny real soon here. And I think that's going to leave an opening for essentially everybody else. You know, and I think, especially with what we've seen over the last few months, I do think that security, that's just one more thing about security, right? I mean, we've seen what having poor IT security can do. And we've seen a whole hell of a lot of leaked emails that say sent from my iPhone on them. So I think that's a good, I hope it's a good thing for BlackBerry going forward.
Yeah, I don't expect a tidal wave of uptake in the next year, but the more that it's in people's minds, the smarter everybody is. Even if you're not on a BlackBerry, you should be paying a lot more attention to the things that you sign up for, sign into, use regularly, and and the information that you expose to others. This society is turned into a pile of robots that don't care, and that's wrong.
Yes, I did this today. I was trying. It was, again, me trying to get people on BBM and talking about how they use their phone and how they chat with their friends and the groups that they're in. And the people that I was speaking to were on Facebook Messenger, and that's what they use. And they've got their multiple groups of people. And honestly, I don't use Facebook Messenger. I never have, even back when I was on Facebook and I used it on my computer and that little messenger thing popped up on the bottom right-hand corner, I shut it off because I don't want people to know when I'm online and available to chat, whatever. And so I was looking at it today, and there's a lot of things that are similar, right, between Facebook Messenger and BBM. Just some similarities there. And so I'm explaining to them, well, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, and this is why you want to do it, as far as the tracking, as far as the listening, as far as, scraping your information to sell to advertisers or anyone else that's willing to pay Facebook for it. No one flipping cared.
Yeah. Let's say that in the next 6 months we will see a terror attack on US oil. And the new elected president will come to Apple, to Facebook, and to investigate the terror attack. He will need information that on Obama area they didn't want to give. Do you think that they will give it on the new administration?
They already do, and they already have. All they said is that they won't do it, even though they already do.
But we saw that in those leaked emails.
Correct.
But they will address the citizens that they are not keeping privacy, or they will just give the information and don't look like they fight for the privacy of their customers?
Well, they can say whatever they want, but I think that anybody who wants to look already knows that they're full of it, and if they want to say that again, it's just a lie, and everybody's sick of lies, and they better not say that again for their own good. If I was their lawyer, I'd tell them not to say that because it's baloney.
I actually said in the blurb of this post that we wouldn't be talking about, election stuff. This was a place to escape it. I'm just saying.
Fair enough. We're talking about technology here.
We're talking about the tech industry, not about the politics.
I've only been told to shut up about 35 times daily about it.
Yeah.
Here I am not wanting to talk about it. And
37
going for it.
Yeah.
But the important part of that interview, the phone.
Yeah, one more device that Chen promised.
Yeah, he did. He said it. He says he owes it. Was that the terminology he used? I owe
promised.
It, or I promised. Yeah, so I'm going to do it. So it'll be interesting to see how he does it.
Did you catch he kind of left a little bit of an opening too, as in this may not be our last?
I don't know. I was in a bit of a hurry, so maybe I missed a nuance, but go ahead.
Listen to it again, because it definitely, and I mean, if we watch where BlackBerry has come since Chen came in, we know that he's always updating. As this works, he'll update. As this doesn't work, he'll update. He will change course to match the successes and the failures. And I can't help but wonder if, since they made that announcement, we're out of designing, we're out of manufacturing, we're using our partners. And then, at that point, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to release this phone today. Or was this today? Yesterday, I think. Yesterday, he's like, we are going to release this phone. And he listened to it again. He left an opening. I can't help but wonder if, the sky's turning blue and rainbows are coming out of unicorns' butts, and suddenly Chin sees a path to us having phones again somewhere in the future, which, I mean, we're going to have phones one way or another, but I still can't help but think that he doesn't want to be the phone designer, manufacturer, something, if it is economically viable.
Well,
and I just don't think he shut the door on it today.
He actually did say, I listened to that interview. I think I listened to it 2 or 3 times actually, and he did say that he did leave room to where BlackBerry may re-enter designing and building phones again. He said after
Interesting.
everything is said and done, and they get through with the deals, that the deals are in place, and he returns the hardware business back to profitability. He said that he will revisit whether BlackBerry will revisit whether they will design and build smartphones again.
Yeah, I caught the fact that he was in late stage talks with both companies in both China and in India, which I can't wait to hear which one of those comes to fruition, or both of them, or whatever. But I'll have to listen to it again, because you guys are picking up on something I missed, obviously.
What interesting that the device is on coming soon. It's very, very, very soon. I think in the next 3-4 months we will see another device.
Yeah, what's funny is I was talking to a buddy at work yesterday, and we often talk about cell phones, probably just because he knows what a geek I am. But he said he had a meeting with one of our customers a few days ago, and this guy brought out he described it as a phone with a keyboard that he had never seen before. And I said, okay, well, does it look like this? And I showed him a picture of a classic. Nope. Okay, well, I've had a passport for eons. Did it look like that? Nope. Okay. I said, did it look like this? Did it look like that? No. And it really made me wonder, because I know this company is all about BlackBerry, and they have a Bez and whatnot. And I know that they've gone to like 10.3.3 and 10.3.4 is enterprise beta testing, not people like me or us or whomever's been in the betas in the past or currently. The BB10 betas have gone out to enterprise. Well, there's an enterprise with lots of sites, and it just made me wonder, because I showed him a picture of everything with a keyboard on it, and no, that's not it. Made me really, really wonder what the hell that thing was.
Well, personally, I think, and this is out of Indonesia, I think that there will be more keyboard devices. For the simple fact that in Indonesia, physical keyboard devices. Let me elaborate. In Indonesia, physical keyboard devices are very popular, and the company that's going to be putting out BlackBerry branded devices already does physical keyboard devices. So I have no doubt. Yeah, they do. So I have, and I'll try to find a picture of one. I actually saw a picture of one, and I'll try to find one and post it in the group. Um, so I have no doubt that we will see a physical keyboard BlackBerry out of Indonesia. Whether BlackBerry then takes that to be placed in other markets around the world is remains to be seen. But I have no doubt that we will see another physical keyboard device coming out of
You know,
Indonesia.
you know that this device, the Mercury, was first named Rome, and it was the first device that I know about it. I know about before the Hamburg and the phone. So I think BlackBerry already made this phone before they made the DTEX.
Yeah. And I also know that it wasn't built in a day.
No.
Yeah.
And I know that some of the features that back in the day, you think you're funny.
No, really.
I heard about some features that this phone have. I don't know if we have them now, but like privacy button and as security things that I heard about them. I don't know if BlackBerry keep them, but it will be very, very cool to see Android devices with physical keyboard. I think this is the real dream of the BlackBerry users that left BlackBerry a few years ago to Android. They love the bold keyboard, but they also love Android, and now they will have both.
Well, like I say, this guy, he told me, it looks an awful lot like, it reminded him of his Galaxy or my D-Tech, only with a keyboard on the bottom. So I told him a story of when Samsung brought out that ridiculous snap-on keyboard,
Which was horrible.
S6.
That
Totally
was such
horrible.
a horrible thing.
I don't even know how that got past QA or even off the design table. It's ridiculous, but
Probably the same way those exploding Note 7s did.
yeah. And he didn't. He said, no, that's not it. My questions and his responses left me feeling like it was a device that was not really supposed to be out in the wild, but was. I wish I'd seen it.
I wish I had it. One more issue. BlackBerry.
Well, just before you move on, one thing I was concerned about was just how familiar Brad is with unicorn butts.
I don't want to know.
How is it that you know anything about rainbows and unicorn butts?
I live in California.
And you just legalized marijuana, as a matter of fact.
There's gonna be rainbows falling out of unicorn butts now.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, Roy.
Yeah. India gets the DTEX family. That's how I like to call it, the DTEC family. And we know the prices. We know it's a big market for BlackBerry. The reviews of the DTEC 60 are, I think, the best reviews that BlackBerry get ever. For if you
agreed.
Yeah, and I wonder if the last couple of weeks has put a smile on Chen's face or what. Like we don't know what the sales are. And of course, it's through some very, narrow channels like Shop BlackBerry. You can find them on Amazon. Now it's in Selfridges and whatnot in the UK.
Yeah, Selfridges, Carphone House. I think BlackBerry did a very good work with the channels for distribution for the DTEC 60.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder if that's sorry to go backwards in subjects, but I wonder if that's why he felt okay about saying what he said about the mercury on the Bloomberg video. Felt good enough to say that just because of the boost this thing's giving him. I don't know.
I'm afraid to get my hopes
But
up
anyway.
on that. Just because I know, here in the US, we know our public, we know the phone's still a BlackBerry. We know that it's not something that they can go into any store here and buy. It has to be bought online. So we know that those people out there, those people that will go buy a BlackBerry online and love it. But we also know the vast majority of Americans are not going to. They're just not. But I think of it as a multi-step process. This D-Tech is getting out there in the media. It's getting good reviews. It's getting talked about. I mean, it's showing people that BlackBerry is back, and maybe, leading to a time again when we will see BlackBerries and carriers and actually supported by carriers. I still stand by the thing that hurt BlackBerry worse than anything was the media turning on them. And right now, if you look at the entire mobile landscape, the media is making a turn again. They're actually being positive about a BlackBerry phone, which is great. But more importantly, they're being very negative about the top phones out there, the Note 7, and the iPhone. And people don't like to hear that. They don't want to think about it that way. But when you've got people attacking your competitors, that's good for you. That's just business.
Do you think BlackBerry will be able to sell a good amount of devices in India with those prices?
Well, that's the thing. What I've heard is that, I think it was Eroy that was saying that, the price of the D-Tech 50 was reasonable there, but there were some people thinking that the D-Tech 60 price was unreasonable.
Yeah, very unreasonable.
But if you look at what is reasonable and what is not reasonable, and you stack a D-Tech 60 up next to a Pixel and an iPhone 7, 2 out of 3 of those are unreasonable. One of them is not, and that's the D-Tech 60, and I can't see for the life of me how that could be any different in India. And on top of that, that's one of your fastest growing areas for still, because there's places that are saturated, and I think North America is close to saturated. Europe is probably close to being saturated if it isn't already. And India is not saturated yet, nor is China.
Or Indonesia.
There you go. And so China, they got lots of their own stuff they can uptake. They don't necessarily need BlackBerries and iPhones and Pixels. They've got their Xiaomis and Huawei's and whatever else it is to play with, and they probably get those at ridiculous prices because they don't have to cross a border. They're just already there. But in India, I mean, apart from, I think somebody that was making a $50 phone or something there, I can't remember what it was last year. If you want a brand name, then you're talking about, the heavier weight players. So I don't know. I think there's lots of uptake to be had there. And I was kind of surprised, or not disappointed, but surprised to hear somebody say, or more than one person say, that a D-Tech 60 is an unreasonable price. And that may just because what people are used to buying there is sub 500. I don't know. I don't know what the average price for a top end smartphone is there. I can't see it being much different in scale than it is here. Therefore, I don't think the D-Tech 60 is overpriced. Just like I was pissed off when everybody said the Priv was overpriced, and then we compared it to whatever else was out, the 6 Edge, S6 Edge, and the iPhone at the time, and the Priv was cheaper. So, excuse me? Same thing again.
Yeah, the DTX60 price in India will be $700, and the TicTac 50 $329.
Yeah, well, there's a big difference, and I wonder why.
I think tax
What did you say the 60 was there?
$704
Yeah.
to be exact.
So that's a little more than I would have expected too. I mean, the one I got was $650 in Canada, so that was $499 in the States, right? So I don't know
Yes.
what kind of tariffs and imports, duties and whatnot happen. I don't know what the rupee's like compared to the dollar, be it Canadian or American. I just don't know.
Even the Indians don't know. It's not a currency that worth too much. I think it's the DTX60 in rupee. It's like 46,099.
Yeah, it's like you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it. I'm in Canada. I refer to our currency as Canadian pesos. Sorry, all you Mexican people. I love you.
And sorry, all Indians, Malaysian, Indonesian, and all the people. I love you all.
Yeah. But let's face it, we're up against the American dollar. That's just the gold standard. So stuff fluctuates, but whatever. Once every 10 years, our dollar is worth more.
Speaking about
that's when you have record-breaking maple harvests, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And man, you won't believe the number of beaver pelts that get traded.
Let Alpha talk.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Speaking about reviews, I don't know if any of you have been on blogs.blackberry.com, but they actually posted up some reviews that different sites have done on the DTEC60, and I mean they're all like screaming positivity about this phone. So from the price to the specs to the software, I honestly can't see why someone who is in the market to get a new smartphone would not choose a DTEC60 over what's out there. I honestly can't see it. You can't say that.
No, I know.
You can't say it's the design because it's a beautifully designed phone.
I can tell you something. If this device were named like Samsung or LG G6, it will be sold with tens of millions.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
That's why I'm saying, yeah.
It all comes down
it's a multi-step. I'm sorry. A multi-step process. Right now, we're just building up the BlackBerry name. We can't expect huge sales right now. Go ahead, Alpha.
Yeah, it's just, which is true. We can't expect huge sales right now because people will look at it and they'll go, "Oh, but it's a BlackBerry," and they're going to put it down, not even attempting to try out the phone or I mean, this phone is beautiful. The design is beautiful. The software is top notch. The hardware is in line with what today's flagships have, if not better than some of today's flagships. So if someone were to think logically, I don't see how you could not choose this phone, especially when it compares to everything else nicely. And then you look at the price point, and the price point is lower.
Yeah, and man,
so
everything you said is absolutely right. Until you use the word logic, because who the hell does that? When it comes to smartphones, it's all about war. You know what I mean? And brand loyalty and whatnot. It's pretty funny, actually. It's one of the, apart from cars, it's one of the only things that are so vehemently, disagreed on. It's hilarious. Go ahead, Roy.
No. You talked about cars, so that example that I wanted to give, that I don't know any market that people don't use logic like smartphones.
Mm-hmm.
You will not see a podcast about Mazda or Ford and they will bullish or talk negative about BMW or Hyundai or something like this. Oh, those Hyundai fans! I don't like them.
Yeah, that's right. All those Jeeps exploding. Whatever.
Okay, wait a minute. We've got Romeo on our in our chat. He says, on paper, the DTEC 60 is great, but in reality, it falls a little short performance-wise, just a little short enough to where people will look to justify purchasing something else. I don't have one. I know Dave does.
I want to know what it's short.
Alpha has one, right?
No, I don't have one yet.
Oh, I thought you did. And
I wish.
Roy's been playing with one.
Yeah.
So have you guys seen where it's fallen short on performance?
No. As a matter of fact, today, just for fun, I set it up the same way I did with the Priv a few weeks ago for a blog where I had it cast to a big screen and then used that app for auto-rotating the whole screen so that you had a 16:9 experience for the operating system. And attached my Bluetooth mouse, the new one, and my Bluetooth Microsoft Wedge keyboard on it. And I ran my entire afternoon with that. And where the Priv would have stuttered a bit and interrupted some things when I had like between 4 and 6 applications up and running. And these are demanding applications, right? I couldn't really blame the Priv at all because I was asking it to do a lot, including RDP into our office and run the CRM. That's a lot of acronyms. Anyway, and then running, work, UC apps and whatnot, plus the hub, and it was smooth, completely smooth. And on top of that, I had all of that running, and then I put on Spotify, beautifully smooth. I didn't try running a video, but I could have. I'll try that again later. What's it lacking in?
He responded. Let me.
I don't know
what he said, because okay, here's our answer. Here's his comment, and there's an easy answer for this, and it says it has glitched up on me where it left me waiting for it to sort itself out before I could use it and let it finish its task. It doesn't happen a lot, but enough that it frustrated me just a little. Perfect answer to that is it's Android. It just is. Regardless of what BlackBerry's done to it, it is Android. And if you want to see where BlackBerry Android differs as far as those little glitches that happen every now and then, go get yourself a Samsung phone. Get yourself an S7 for a week or two, and you will be clamoring to get back on BlackBerry.
I can tell you that my friend is a partner of BlackBerry, and every time he gets a new device, he reports to BlackBerry about bugs and things that happen to the device. And first time he got the Priv, he complained about the heating up of the device, and the device stuck from time to time. It's now better after the last update. On the DTEC 50, he said that it's less power device than the Priv and the DTEC 60, and it's run well. It's not the device that need to power up all the application at once. So it's a good device with the specs. But on the DTEC 60, he said, I'm killing the device. I'm raped device, and it keep working and not stacking, not heating up. Nothing. The device running like you just open it from the box.
Yeah, I agree completely. I've beat the crap out of this thing over the last however long I've had it, which is what, 2 weeks now. And
to be clear, I'm not telling anybody to rape their devices. I'm against it. Just to be clear.
You know, Roy, I'm glad you clarified that because you were heading into what, some kind of misogynist territory weirdness.
If I run for
Yeah.
election,
And
I
I don't live where you live, so I'm not sure whether it's okay there or what. I don't know. I don't know, man.
Whew.
Well,
Yeah,
I can
you're
say
excused.
that I can say that I've used top of the line flagships that are out there today. Galaxy devices. I've even used an S7, and I've even used an iPhone 7. I have extensive experience with an iPhone 6S Plus, and all those devices have stutter at one point or another. Especially the iPhone. You'd be surprised at how much the iPhone stutters more than people will actually let on, but it really, really does.
That's interesting because you hear all kinds of things, man, about the A10 chip and how awesome it is, and it's just the killer thing. And you run Geekbench on it, and it's just
it's a really Dave. It's a really killer chip because it can explode. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like, what was that movie? Not Need for Speed, but I forget what the name of the movie was. That poor guy that died in the car. Go too fast, man.
Use Samsung Note 7.
Yeah.
Well, Romeo is saying he thinks that there is a problem with BlackBerry software, that it doesn't mix well with Android, and he thinks that's why he may experience the stutters in his devices.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, first thing I do is, this isn't Uncle Dave's rules for running, Android on a BlackBerry. I'll just tell you what I do. I completely got rid of Facebook. Forget it. That thing's a
new
pig.
podcast. Yeah. Uncle Dave says.
Yeah.
Dave.
Hey, we've been looking for a blogcast for Dave there.
Yeah. Well, maybe
how to use your Android device by BlackBerry. Yeah. By Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dave's rules for not being a dick. Anyway, get rid of Facebook, log out and kill it, and uninstall the app. Run through all of your apps using the DTAC app and kill all of the permissions that don't deserve to be there, like why the hell does Twitter need to know your location, etc. That's completely ridiculous. And all of your apps, run through all of them. Spend the hour. And then, I don't know what. There's lots of apps out there that can abuse your machine, but you need to spend the time to figure out which ones those are. Pay attention to your battery status and see what's using your battery power, and either get rid of that app that is abusing your battery, find an alternative, because there's lots, and then reboot your device and see how things go for the next couple of days. Because I'm telling you, I've run pretty lean and mean with this DTEC 60. And it is super smooth. I haven't had a problem with it. It doesn't jitter. It doesn't jump. It doesn't bugger up. It's a beast.
Hey, we have a comment that should make us feel good.
From Hilton.
Warm feeling inside. New commenter, Hilton Dynamics. Hey, the Verizon Priv doesn't get hot with Droid 6.0. A new device. Also, battery lasts 50% longer. And now you know why we felt so bad for Verizon users all this time, Hilton. Because that's exactly what that update did, and for you guys to go that long without it is painful. I can't imagine you guys on that original build for as long as you've been.
Yeah, and seriously, if you've gone through that or gone through any other grief with the machine, back it up. And either do a factory reset or do a no, I can't remember the name of the file. I just downloaded it. Anyway, do a factory reset on your device and start again, because once in a while computers just need a fresh reload. So
I don't think it would have helped on Lollipop. I really don't. I think it
I'm
was
just saying, yeah, I'm getting that. I'm saying if you think you're in the same situation after Marshmallow, then I'm telling you, just do that.
Yeah, you're right.
Rome is saying that he agrees. He's upset that he said it just sucks that there's so much you have to do to get Android to run good as a platform the way it should. And he's also saying that his experience with Android just makes him miss BlackBerry 10 more. And he's
Yeah,
saying
I
Go ahead,
get
Dave.
that sentiment. I totally get that emotion. And I had to open my mind an awful lot to buy the Priv. Because as much as I wanted to do it, I equally didn't want to do it, because I was supporting something at the time, which was a little over a year ago, that sort of felt a little bit dirty. Because here I am, the original sort of BBOS fanboy, and then a super huge BB10 fanboy. Here I am throwing somebody a credit card to go in a completely different direction. And it's like, what? You're a traitor. You're driving home, right, with this expensive box in the passenger seat. And it's like you're a traitor.
Oh man!
Oh, wait a minute, I'm furthering.
If we're telling our stories again,
pocketbook,
if we're telling our stories again, when the moment I bought my Priv, it was a "what the hell am I doing" moment, because you guys
did you feel like a dirty boy?
You guys know I didn't want BlackBerry going Android. I mean, you guys know more than anybody out there. I was very against it. The whole idea, the curved screen, I hated it. And to be honest, I still do. I don't like the curved screen. That is the only thing I don't like about my Priv, is the curved screen. And I know that that's popular. I don't see the point that I don't like it. But that whole Lollipop run, I did not like that phone. It was, it's like I've always had an Android. I've never liked Android. I don't know. I'm stupid. I always end up buying these tablets that I end up not using, that just sit in a drawer, not being used.
I think maybe you should get off the tablets and try pills instead.
Yeah, maybe. There you go. Get some gel caps. But since Marshmallow and with the BlackBerry app updates, I mean, I'm being completely honest here. I love BB10 and I love the gestures of BB10. But that is the only thing I'm missing from BB10 are those gestures. Like, I've got my entire BlackBerry experience in my Priv now, and I really don't. I miss the phones. I'm on my secondary phone is a Leap. I'm this close to going back to my Passport again. I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for trading off my Classic, but I don't, on a daily use, get my stuff done. I don't miss BB10 anymore. My Priv is my primary device, and what I gain in Priv is enough to offset the gestures. Now, what I really want to happen is I want to see a major update to BB10 to where I can flip-flop what I'm saying and make my Priv my secondary phone and go back to BB10 and know that I've got, the best phone in the world again.
Yeah, are there any unicorns and rainbows in there?
Nah,
you know what I miss? You know what I miss is wonderfully, properly written BB10 apps. So, as an example, I'll pick on Nobex. You go into Nobex on your DTEC or your Priv or your DTEC 50. And you start up a radio station, whatever. I'll pop that on first thing in the morning if I think the traffic's going to suck, and I'll turn on a traffic, AM station or whatever, and I'm listening to that while I'm getting my coffee and my stuff together, and decide what my route's going to be, and then I want to kill the app. Well, the frickin' thing keeps playing, even though you killed the app. What's up with that? Are you guys nuts? I have to go in forcibly into the apps and go force stop it.
If we're talking about what we want, I published a post this week about my wish list for BlackBerry for the next updates.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And you all know File Manager and Video Photo App, but what I really want now is the BBM toast notifications. I saw that the SMS got an update that now you can reply within the notification. I don't know why BlackBerry didn't gave us this feature until now.
Yeah,
we've always.
So just to finish my point, when you're doing those things in on BlackBerry 10, when you kill something, it's dead. Why through this? It's, hey, all you Android app developers out there, please make your stuff stop when I kill the app. Please.
I use Nobex for Android every day. I listen to the radio on the train home, and I really liked it. It's less easy to use than the BB10 app, but
well, here's a question for you then, Roy, since you use it every day. Why are there no podcasts on Android Nobex and there is on BB10 Nobex?
I think it's something about Android users. I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense. Nobex Radio on BB10 has podcasts, and on Android, if it's there, I still haven't found it. Like I deleted Nobex. It's not, because the only thing I used it for was podcasts.
Yeah, I'd use it for both if I could, but I can't.
So hey, I know we're pretty. No, it's not there.
Nobex Radio originally developed for BlackBerry. It's an Israeli company. It's Israeli developers, and it's basically built for BlackBerry from the BBOS to BlackBerry 10. And after BB10, they released the Android version. So maybe they didn't invest on Android platform like they did in the BlackBerry 10, because
maybe it's a licensing thing. I don't know.
As you remember, Nobex was
there should be no licensing for podcasts. Podcasts are just an RSS reader.
Nobex Radio was one of the first apps for BlackBerry 10, if you remember.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Well, that just you know what? I'm going to mount my own personal campaign to get that changed. It's silly that
tweet them like we tweet Marty Bird.
Well, you know what? In the past, I know even Bigley, he emailed them one day and said, hey, this radio station's missing. And in less than a week, they responded and said, here it is. So I consider them responsive unless something's changed. And there you go. Thanks for bringing up the subject. I'm going to send them a message.
Cool.
Hey, let's run through, because I think we're getting close to the end of our time. Let's quickly run through some of the comments on the channel that we didn't touch on yet. Brian asks, upcoming BlackBerry keyboard phone, do you reckon we'll get a proper announcement before the end of the year?
It will be 2017. Not before the end of the year.
Well,
I think around March, April.
The announcement or the release?
The announcement and the release.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with what Roy said there. I kind of felt that way even a few weeks ago anyway, but even after today's announcement from Chen on Bloomberg, I think Roy's probably got that time frame quite right.
John Batchelor asks, what happened to the hashtag shot on BlackBerry? It's still there. In fact, like with our recent little batch of videos that we've been doing, we've been adding that to our little credit roll when I remember to put it on there. But, you know, if you're posting a picture to social media that you took on your BlackBerry, use the hashtag. Let people know it was shot on a BlackBerry. That was kind of the point of it.
Yeah,
I still love that hashtag because, you know, take it from Apple.
Yeah.
With their little watercolor camera. We have decent cameras. Let's go.
And just so that you know, the speaker shootout that we did, that wasn't shot on BlackBerry. And the reason is I ran out of devices. All the devices I had were on the frickin' table. So I had to use a GoPro clone to shoot that. Otherwise it would have said shot on BlackBerry too. I just didn't have yet another one to play with.
Ninja is bringing back the politics. We really can't ignore the big elephant in the room, can we? Especially that it might have a direct impact on tech, which is very relevant to this topic. I only hope that the new administration will impose more taxes on Crapple and punish them for their refusal to cooperate with authorities. Is it possible, or am I asking for too much?
I think we talked about it.
We talked about it a little bit, but I think it's important to note that our new president-elect
was
very pointed about companies that are American companies that manufacture outside the country and import back in. His plan at that point, if that carries through, is to tariff the heck out of them until they bring their businesses back inside.
Yeah.
Here's
my take on this from a completely third-party point of view that's north of the border. And so that's not going to happen. And I think that the way to repatriate the monies that are offshore are to be kind and not double hose somebody. So you can't play nice this way and play naughty that way. So if you're going to find a way to repatriate the $200+ billion or whatever it is that is currently Irish, and you want to repatriate some of that and call it whatever 15 instead of 35%, whatever it is. If you want to play that game, then you're not going to also say that this iPhone that's been being built in China now has whatever, pick your number, a tax on that. Life doesn't work like that. So
I'm just going to say, I think you're wrong. Because, I mean, you know, the reason that Tim Cook said specifically when he was discussing it was, you make the tax workable and I'll bring it back. You know, there's no way I can bring it back right now because of the tax. Well, dropping the corporate tax from 35% to 15%, and then saying, well, if you're going to, you know, manufacture them overseas and bring them back in, I'm going to tax them 35%. Well, there's your reason to repatriate that money. It's pretty simple.
I don't know if Apple can transfer their manufacturing from China to the US and sell the devices.
It won't be fast, and it won't be easy.
And sell the devices is the same price as now. It will
no, they won't.
You can't do a double banger like that day one.
Especially when the workers on the manufacturers are paid by bread and water at the monthly pay.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, yay for human rights. Hey, JP says, what's happening on December 1st? It has a sticker in this pack, and I'm not looking at the pack. I can't click on a link in Android BBM. But it's stickers BBM get in.
And it sucks.
Anyone know what he's talking about?
No.
Yeah, there are a new free stickers pack. Get it in. It's the BBM party in South Africa, Johannesburg.
Oh,
and
perfect.
If you can download the stickers pack, so you should go to sleep and try to download it later.
So you're thinking it's just not rolled out?
It's rolled out, but I think maybe there is a technical issue on the servers. It's happened from time to time.
I've sort of lost a little bit of interest in stickers. And it's only because there's 8 billion of them and whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Lost a little bit of luster for me. But, if you like that kind of thing, then have at it.
Anything more?
There's one more.
I'm going to click pen more than Roy. Because, I've got like a real pen. Look at this real pen here, man.
You won.
Oh, yeah. You want that. I know you do. Don't you, man? Look at that pen. Writes so smooth, just like BB10.
Cabbage Patch that had asked about the BBM category on BlackBerry.com. He followed up on his own asking, do you think we have or will get an honest, straightforward statement from Chen and Company about the future of BB10, BBM, and BlackBerry apps?
I think we will get in the next or the few next financial reports, maybe. If he asked if in the QA, but there's nothing really to talk about. BB10 is here, BBM is here, Android is here.
I think we've had honest and straightforward answers. I think that they have told us exactly honest and straightforward answers. They said, we haven't given up on BB10. They said, this is the year of Android, which has happened. They've told us how frustrated they are with how long this NIAP is taking. And they told us that they're no longer designing and manufacturing phones. And they also told us that BB10 is available for these partners the same way BlackBerry Android's available for these partners.
I think
so.
The only reason that people still looking for answers that because BlackBerry didn't give them the answer they want.
Boom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Quinn and
yeah,
some of my friends from another group.
Yeah, keep asking there. Keep saying that BlackBerry is not being truthful because they didn't get the answer that they wanted. I think you nailed it on the head. Jeez. And then finally, we've got Bert.
Roy, you have friends, man?
He does. Yeah, I'm his friend.
I should try that. Shit.
Aside from the political talk, I do see one positive fact. Rudy Giuliani has an in with Chin and security. This could bode well for government contracts, etc. Nice. I really don't know anything about that. I know that Giuliani made a speech at one of the BlackBerry events, right? This is how bad my memory is right now. It's been a long week, but I know that he got up and talked. So that he definitely has a relationship.
Or a familiarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he was not used. That's an unfair word. But, there was a BlackBerry event, and now I can't remember what it was for, but
I think it was about, I think it was a security event.
Security. That's right. That's right. Security.
You want the quote? Yeah. Giuliani says BlackBerry can help make the world safe again. It's from June this year, from this Security Summit event in New York.
Right on.
So we have one fan.
Make America safe again.
we should run a campaign, Make America BlackBerry again.
Yeah.
We'll be nice.
Okay, we're gonna get some red UTB hats, and
they can't be red or blue. No.
Come on.
It will be black.
Chicken. You're a chicken.
So
That was everything from the channels. I just
Yeah.
wanted to get all that in there.
I think we should end this blogcast
And this silly thing.
yeah,
We didn't miss anything? No, I guess we
and
didn't
we
miss
wish Erica
Speedy recovery.
yeah,
There you go.
a
I think
speed
Roy.
a speed
a speedy
recovery.
recovery. And I think it's the time to say good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
See ya.